So let me try to give you an idea about how much variety you can play around with the syntax of the loops. If you want to make a variable whatever and basically count it up till 100, and that's when the loop is going to stop. So for example, over here in the last part where some action is taken, just like the body of the for loop is the action that's taken, truth is that you could just skip away this thing, leave this part empty, and make this whatever over here plus plus, and that'll basically have the same effect as having whatever plus plus right over here, because every time this expression is evaluated to see if it's true or not, at the same time whatever is going to be incremented by 1. Or for example, you can really just take the whole thing out of the for loop parentheses. You can create your int variable outside from before, and you can make your test if whatever is less than 100 inside the body of the for loop, and the way you do that is if whatever plus plus is less than 100, then break, and break, as we learned, will exit the for loop, and that's it. So as you see, you could take everything out of the for loop and just leave it like that. And of course, since over here we're just doing one simple statement over here, we're not really doing much, so we could take this all out of the braces, and this in itself would be a full-fledged normal for loop with an if statement. On the other hand, you could take full advantage of the parentheses of the for loop, which is actually called the header of the for loop, and you can pretty much take all the action needed just inside of the parentheses, and you will have no continuation in the body of the for loop. For example, here we do already all the action we need. If you'd like, you can even do something over here like print hello, and that's it. You don't even need anything in the body, in the inside of the for loop. You just put a semicolon right there, and your entire loop is enveloped in just the header of the for loop, because over here we're creating a variable. Over here we are also incrementing it every round, and we are also checking to see if we still want to continue looping. And over here, which is just like the body, like the inside of the for loop, we take whatever action we'd like printing out hello or whatever. So as you can see, the syntax is pretty flexible. Of course, as we learned, you could, if you're bored, you can replace the semicolon with a opening and closing brace, which is just as good as having just a semicolon, because it's all empty body, empty inside of the for loop. And here's how I would play around with the while loop. Here I'm creating again a whatever variable, and I'm just using a very tiny simple while loop, which pretty much just counts it up one by one until 100. So what's happening over here is that while the variable whatever, which is going to be incremented every round, is less than 100, then nothing. That's it. That's all we need to be done. There's no body. There's just a semicolon or an opening and closing brace. Again, there's nothing inside of the while loop. Everything is happening right over here, and the action taken, the only action that's being taken every round, is that whatever is being incremented one by one each round. Or you can just make the while loop always be true, like by typing while true, which means that basically the while loop will always continue running, which is just as good as writing like while 1 or while 4 or anything that's not 0, because that's just as much as true. And then inside the body of the while loop, that's where you would test to see if we'd like to continue looping. Here we are testing that if whatever, which is going to be incremented, is more than 100, then break out of the loop, and it's just going to continue the rest of the code. So while it really looks like this is going to be an infinite loop because it's always going to be true, but still we make sure that over here we have a break statement which will happen at some point. Again, just a reminder, by the way, what's happening over here is that the variable whatever is going to be incremented by 1, but that only happens after the evaluation is checked, which means first we are evaluating if whatever is more than 100, and then whatever is going to be incremented by 1, because we are putting the plus plus at the end of the variable whatever, which is the postfix increment operator, and that's why it's done after anything else. If we put this obviously in the beginning of the whatever variable, then first this will be incremented, and then it will be expressed as a expression to be evaluated with this operation. And again, over here you don't even need a opening and closing brace, the body of the while loop. You could just leave it with the semicolon, and that takes care of it, because there's just one statement over here that's happening inside of the while loop, so there's no need to have a opening and closing brace which envelops many statements. And it's pretty much the same thing with the do while loop, same as like what we've seen now with the while loop. It's just that the statement is going to be put between the do and the while, and if we want to have more than one statement, we'll have to use braces. Otherwise we can just leave it just like that, everything in one line. If you're doing it everything in one line, then you will not need a semicolon after the statement that's happening inside. No, I'm sorry, you will always need a semicolon at the end of this statement that you're doing in the do while loop, whether you have braces or not, so forget about what I just said. And you could pretty much play around a lot with the syntax in the do while loop as well, as we've seen with the other loops. Here's another good keyword to use when you're making your loops, and that's the word continue. What continue does, it could happen many times in your loops that, like after your loop filled up with a whole bunch of stuff to do and became pretty big, at some point in your loop you might want to stop right there and loop again without finishing the whole list of stuff to do. For example, here's our do while loop made a little bit more complicated just for fun. So at some point in your whole complicated loop, you might want to, for some reason, like for example, if x is more than 50, whatever x is, probably some variable you made before, so you might want to do whatever is in here, and then right away not finish the loop and just skip ahead from the beginning again. So what you'd want to do is use the continue word. What continue does is that it skips the rest of the inside of the loop, whatever is between the opening and the closing brace, and it just skips ahead to however that particular loop works. For example, in a do while loop, it will skip right away to the while expression to see if this is true or not, and then it'll continue looping from the beginning. In a for loop, let's talk about in a while loop. What happens is we skip ahead all the rest of the code and we jump right away to the back to the beginning, to the while expression. In the for loop, we will stop right there and skip right away to the beginning of the for loop and continue the loop as if everything is going normal. So the only thing basically that continue does is it will stop execution, it will avoid execution of the rest of the loop that you're inside. It will go right away to basically the closing brace and back to the beginning of the loop again, instead of doing the whole entire inside of that loop. So it doesn't stop looping, we continue looping as regular, and everything will continue happening, whatever, it will increment, it will test the condition, everything will happen as normal. The only difference is that we didn't do the whole entire for loop as soon as we reached the continue statement, we skipped right away to the closing brace, and then we started back to the beginning, as if it was just a regular day at the for loop.